Well, good morning, Dave Johnson here with Day Trade the Markets. We're looking at the Nasdaq. It's a 2-minute chart of the September. Just got filled after the market dipped down here and tested into the support from yesterday and came around and took that out. So long here from 73.75 on the 4 contracts that I usually like to trade. It's moving up quite nicely, so we're getting a good move on this. I'm going to go ahead and exit 2 of these up in here. Let's see. I was looking for I was initially looking for about a 10-point move, 83.75. It's already hit there, so I'm a little slow on the mark here, getting the trade on, getting the video started, and all that kind of good stuff. But we'll leave it in there for the time being, and I will go ahead also and put any protective sell stop. Okay, we got a nice blue bar here. I'm going to put it in at 74.75. For the sell stop. It's already moved 10 points in our favor, so just locking in 1 point there, just for sort of prudent safety purposes. I'm going to make a marker up in here so we can see where we are once these guys get filled. So just put this in here. We've got our stop in here, and we've got our entry right in here. So hopefully this will get us filled here shortly, and be able to see this market continue to move up here today. So yesterday we had a pretty good move down and up. It was kind of a volatile sort of day. Well, let's just watch this here for just a moment. No, okay, there we just got filled on that. So I'm going to change the stop. Now we're just long 2. So I'm going to move that stop amount to 2. And I'm going to increase the level of it here. I think I'll bring it up to about 77 3/4. There we go. Okay, so we've locked in what, 4 on the second 2. We got 10 on the first 2. So it's a good looking market. If I can bring in the I think behind here I've got the profiles. Let's take a look at that for just a moment. Let's see something interesting here. This is what I like about getting long today, is the fact that we had yesterday a really nice open lower that immediately went up and actually formed higher values. So whenever you've got a day with a tremendous number of single prints like this and a nice positive close, you're usually looking at follow through higher the next day. Single prints on the low of the day is pretty good rejection of the lower prices, and which does indicate in most cases a continued move in the opposite direction, in this case up. Now we did dip down here today, or in the overnight I should say. I think it got down to, what did I say, around 55 or something like that, which is the volume build here from yesterday. So, not a huge sell-off, and just coming in as the good support area there. So just putting a couple of market logic structures together, putting them together in a market logic way, I should say, can lead us to believe to getting into a trade not based solely on the current day structure, but in looking through the structure leading up to the day to give us an idea of how we can perhaps get in early, take advantage of a potentially good move. So that's really the thinking here. If I squeeze these together a little bit more, you can see here, I can't get them any more together, but you can see here that next level up. Here's a lot of single prints. Okay, I got another arrow here from a previous time we were looking at them. So this is the base of this is in this area, but where the selling really started was up there at 59.08. So that's really more of a target here, and then the next one around 59.18. So 59.08 and 18 is really the targets we're looking at. You can see the first one in here, and you see this line in here is really okay. That's really where the market started to sell off from, where the single print started in the second move down here on this day, back on the 17th, August 17th. I wouldn't really consider that a super important one personally. I would consider more the high of this, as I was saying, 59.08, and then over at 18. So anyway, just wanted to show you the market profiles on that. Getting back to here, here's our 2-minute. and it's continuing to look good. So we'll just leave that the way it is. By the way, I just wanted to show you what the time was here, 6:42 a.m. And that's my time, Pacific time, Pacific Daylight Savings Time, and of course today is Wednesday, August the 30th. So we got into this trade just as it turned around here, and that was around 6:36 or so. So been in the trade, 6 or 7 minutes. So just wanted to highlight that there as far as where we're at. We've got our stop in place. I think we'll just leave it like that for the time being. I'll pause the recording and pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, just restarted the recording just a moment ago. We stopped it. I just want to let you know that I've gone ahead and put in a sell limit here for one of the remaining two contracts up here at 59.0275. So just wanted to let you know about that. And once again, I'll pause the recording. Okay, just resuming the recording here. We are continuing to grind higher, which is a good sign, obviously. We've got, by the way, the time is now 6:55 or 9:55, so now been in the trade about 20 minutes or so. You can see here, though, that we have formed a green and a red bar, light green, light red. And you can also see that this bar, the light red one, is also deceleration. So I'm going to go ahead and make an adjustment to the stop. Now the low of the pair of them is around 86.50. So I'm going to bring this stop up to 85.75. 85.75. There we go, right there. That locks in, 12 points on the second two contracts. So I'm just going to copy this and put a marker in right here so we know where that stop is. So that's really it for now. As I had pointed out before, I do have a sell limit in here in case we get a spike or something up there to 59.0275, which would obviously be a nice 25-pointer. So, who knows if that'll happen, but at least I've got that in. In the meantime, we do have a trailing stop in here. So that's it for now. That's the way it looks at the moment. We've got all our stops and everything in place. So once again, I'll go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, just restarting the recording. It's 7:05. Been in the trade about 30 minutes, and you can see it's coming down here. Obviously, we're in jeopardy of being stopped, so just want to bring you up to date on that. Looks like it's going to do that, but at any rate, just wanted to bring you up to date on that, and that's it. So I'll once again pause the recording. Okay, just restarting the recording here for a moment at 7:14. You can see the market got down here very, very close to getting us stopped out. So I just wanted to check on that and see what the exact price is. You see the data box over here. Here's the low here, and I'll just highlight the low. You can see the low 58.8625 over in the data box where it says low 58.8625, and our stop was at 58.8575. So obviously very lucky there, just 2 ticks or 1/2 a point from getting us stopped out. So and of course I used the low of this pair of paint bars right here to determine that. And the low of that bar, if you recall, was 86.75, and I put the stop a point below that. So, I guess that's a good example of utilizing the software here to actually do a lot more than just help you read the market and get into trades, but also to manage them. So that worked out really well. But by the same token, I'd be the first to admit that we're obviously a little bit lucky on that one, just coming within 2 ticks or 1/2 a point of getting stopped out on it. So anyway, it's 7:15, been in the trade for about 40 minutes here, so I'll just, we've got our stops and everything in place, so just go ahead and pause the recording again. Okay, just resuming the video recording of this trade again. It's now 7:39, so been in this trade roughly an hour, and you can see that the market came down, as we were mentioning previously, that it came within just 2 ticks or 1/2 a point of getting stopped. Turned right around very nicely, made a new high, kind of went sideways for a bit, and now have dropped. So I've just left the stop where it is. Hopefully it can turn around and then make the new highs at least at some point today. If not, obviously in jeopardy of being stopped here. So just want to bring you up to date on that. That's about it for right now. So I've been in the trade about an hour. So once again, I'll just go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, just resuming the recording here. The market is getting very close to reaching our objective here. It's come within just a tick, so it looks like we're going to get hit any moment here. So just want to bring you up to date on that. So we've been in the trade a little over an hour. Okay, we just got hit on that right here at that exit was at right here at 0275. That's right, for 25 points. I'll just shift this over here so we've got that. So I need to make an adjustment on the stop now. So the quantity now has to be reduced to just one, because as you can see right here, we're just down to one contract. Started with the 4. So I'm going to bring it up just a point below the low of this green bar. Got a couple of green bars right here. The low of that's at, well, let me just get the data bar out here. The low of that first green bar is at 58.94. You can see the low over here. If I click it on that first green bar, you can see it's at 94. So I'll bring this and put it at 92. So we'll put that right at 92 even. Okay, and that's, and I can move this here, which we were using before, previous stop, and right there. So we've got our markers in place. Got our entry over here. Oh, I can eliminate that one. So this is our entry right here, our first exit here, our second exit here, and our current stop here. So things are looking good. The market's continuing to rally. Obviously, that's what we were looking for, and it's doing so. So that's nice. So 10 points on the first two and 25 on the third contract. So we got the fourth contract left here. And I'll just exit the data box here, go back to our time. So we've been in this trade about an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes. I'll go ahead once again, pause the recording, and pick it up when needed. Okay, just restarted the recording. You can see here that the market has rallied up. It's left this green bar on the high. Let's just check the low of that green bar here. We've already come down below it, so unfortunately I think I'm going to have to adjust this stop. Now the low of this green bar right here is at 59.02, and we just hit 5900.25. So I'm going to raise this stop just underneath that next green bar, and I'm going to put it right there at 58.97. Let's see what the high or the low of this second green bar is. The low of that 58.98.25. So we're a point below that and just below the high of the day. So I'm just going to make an adjustment here, bring this over. So our stop is now at 58.97 and a quarter. So just wanted to bring that, just make that change. And what's our time now? Is it 8:20? So we've been in this trade about an hour and 45 minutes. So just want to bring you up to date on that adjustment. And once again, I'll pause the recording. Okay, just resuming the recording here. We have had a bit of a dip here. As you can see, it's trying to move its way higher. So once again, I'm going to tighten up this stop. I'm going to bring it just a hair this time below that last dip, because I don't want to be giving away too much here. So that stops now at what, 99.25. So just wanted to let you know that I've made that adjustment. We've been in this trade almost 2 hours now, so I want to tighten up that stop because long from 73, our stop now at 99. So anyway, just wanted to bring you up to date on that, and once again I'll go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, resuming the recording here. We're up to 9:44. We're in this trade at 6. This is, of course, Pacific time, so we were into this trade roughly 3 hours ago. So it's working out really nicely. You can see here we've just now making new highs with light green bars. So not heavy aggression, but that's fine, still the same. And so I'm going to go ahead and adjust the stop up to here. Put it at well, let's just check to see what the low is on that first green bar. That's at 59.09. So I'll put this stop at 59.08. there it is. Now, if you recall before, the next target after 59.08, because remember we were talking about that as being the first target, it did get up to right around that area, 59.08, and then stagnated for a while. Now it's gone up again. Our next target was around 59.18, if you remember. So I'll adjust this marker here and put it up to 59.08, and that's where we're at right now. So we've adjusted the stop. Market keeps moving up nicely, so it's good to see. Been in the trade a little over 3 hours, so things are working out well. And once again, I'll go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, just resuming the recording here. It's now 10:08 my time, which is 1:08 Eastern time, and you can see we just had another new high for the day here with this green bar. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and raise the stop. Now let's just check to see what the low of that green bar is. See it over here. We'll just take a look at the low in that data box over there. It says 59.15.17. So I'm going to raise it to 59.14. 59.14.75. Just watching it there. There we go. So just a point underneath there. So, and I'll go ahead and put our marker there. So, you know, the market keeps trending higher, looking really good. So, of course, I can even squeeze this up a little bit here. And so we were long back in here, 73, and now our stop on the final contracts at 14. So that's what a nice 40-point gain. So at any rate, once again, I'll go ahead and put the recording on pause. Okay, resuming the recording here again. 10:14 my time, so that's 1:14 Eastern. We've got another green bar here as we're making new highs. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the stop. Let's take a note as to get out our data box here. The low of this green bar is at 59.22, so we'll raise the stop to 59.21. There we go, right there. And I'll just get the marker out. I'll put the marker right in there. So just wanted to bring you up to date on the new adjustment here for the protective sell stop for the final contract that we have going on here. So it's obviously this is a really nice trade. It's working well. I've been in this trade just shy of what, well, 6:30 to 10:15. That's a little less than 4 hours, so 3 hours and 40 minutes, something like that. So it just keeps trending higher. So we're just going to keep adjusting that stop. You can see here, even on this final contract, it's moved in our favor over $1,000 bucks. So anyway, that's it for now. And once again, I'll pause the recording. Okay, just resuming the recording here again. You can see it's 10:30, so I've been in this trade almost 4 hours. And we just had another couple of green bars here, the light green version this time. So let's take a look at what the low of the first one is. We'll get the data box here. I'll put the mouse over top of it, and you can see over in the data box the low is 59.25.5. So I'm going to raise the stop to 59.24.5. Just stretch that out a little bit so I can get that half. There we are right there. And I'll go ahead and just put the marker in there as well so we can see what's going on, and just reduce it there, lower it down a little bit. So that's the latest update. Been in this trade for quite a while, and it just keeps on moving up, so we just keep adjusting our trailing stop accordingly based on the colored paint bars that we've got going on here. So yeah, we've adjusted this several times here today, so it's a good example of that. So once again, I'll go ahead and pause the recording. Let's see here. So we can see the entire trade here a little bit better. There we go. Maybe just squeeze that in just a little bit. There we go. Okay, we can see that a bit better. There we go. Okay, so there we are. Almost 4 hours into the trade. Once again, pause the recording. Okay, just restarted the recording again, and you can see that the market is continuing to move higher. We have now got another, this time a light green bar. So let's check out the low of this one. and we've got our data box there, so I'll put my cursor over. The low of that is at 59.3325, so I'll put this stop at 59.3225. There we are right there. So that's a point below this most recent aggressive buying bar, and I'll also move the little marker that we've got here up to there as well. So we're long from 73 roughly, and this is at 32. So that's a nice profit there. That's what, to 27 and 30, so it's about 60 points, 59 points, something like that. So it's working out really well. I've got the market kind of squished up here a little bit so we could see the full day. This is where we got in early in the day, just after the open, when it came down, tested in here and got rejected. This was our first objective for the for 2 contracts at 10 points, and then for 1 contract, the second objective at 25 points, and now we're looking really good here on that third one, or sorry, the 4th and final contract, locked in what, 59 or so points on that. So that's really it for the time being, and once again I will go ahead and pause the recording. Been in this trade now for about 4 hours and 15 minutes, something like that. So I'll pause the recording and pick it up when needed. Okay, resuming the recording again. We've got another green bar here, as you can see, and I'm going to check once again here, see what the low of that one is. The low of that bar is at 35.50, so we'll raise the stop to 34.50. Can I get that there? 34.50. No, it's hard to. There we go, 34.50. And I'll have to lower this so we can see it a bit better. And I'll just put that marker over here so we've got it there. So just save us a little bit more on that trade from roughly 74 to 34. So that's nice. That's what, 61 points roughly. So once again, I'll go ahead and pause the recording and pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, just starting the recording back up. You can see we just got filled here a couple bars ago at, here's our price right here, was at 34.25. So it was a 60 and a half points on that last contract, so that was really good. So how long did this trade last? Well, a long time. We were in this trade roughly 4.5 hours ago, because we got into it around 6:35, 6:38, something like that. So 6:40, something like that. So yeah, it's one of our longer trades for sure. But when you can get into a good move, oh, here's one of the things I just want to point out was over here on the profiles, is that, and I think I briefly touched on this earlier in the video. It's been so long ago, but we had this movement here yesterday after a lot of sideways movement where the market came down, gapped lower on the open, quickly found buying, and left a lot of single prints here. I can extend this so you can see it a little bit more detail. Single prints just means that the market only traded down here during the first half hour of trade, in this case because it's the letter A, which is the first half hour of trading. So I'll just kind of bring it back into view here so we can see the whole thing. The other thing that I can do here, I suppose, is go ahead and just go into here so you can see this just really briefly. I can change this from, what is it, 4, I can change that probably up to about 12. And there we can see each letter. So see a little bit of a different view, but a lot of sideways motion, a move lower that found good buying, that left a buying excess, and a very strong close to finish the day towards the top of this overlay value area. In other words, if we were to go ahead and merge several of these days together that were all more or less sideways in that regard, you can see here that when we did close yesterday, we closed actually above the high of this combined, what was it, 4 or 5 day value area. So pretty positive. And then of course today, when the market, we were looking to try and get long after any kind of rejection early in the day, which we got off of the 2-minute bar, and we're able to get in pretty quickly here. And then we had the objectives up here. This was our next objective up around 59.18. Then the next one is up around 59.50. We haven't gotten there at least yet. We've got to about 44. So, you know, just a little bit of market logic, walking our way through the potential of the trade, the expectation of what we're likely to get today, and then using our 2-minute chart with the aggressive bars to go ahead, get in long after this early rejection down in here, and then get on board and just use the paint bars here to help us manage the trade. I think on this last stop, I don't know how many times it was. I'd have to go back and add it up, but I know we went to break even here. We left it in here, and then we moved it up to, I think, here below these two, so that was a couple, and then up into here. That was about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We must have made 7 or 8, I think, adjustments on the stop. So a really good example of adjusting the stop. I know this is a really long video, but it was a very long trade. At any rate, there it is. So if you have any questions, get a hold of us at info@daytradethemarkets.com. Thanks for watching, and look forward to seeing you next time.